My biggest transition yet has been moving to America. I moved here in 2019 for college. Prior to that transition, I had never been to America. The farthest I had ever been outside of my home country, Uganda, was I had traveled to Kenya once and Thailand. But to be fair, it was a whole spin when I came to America, and I was like, wow, I have zero knowledge on how to adapt to this land. Those countries are closer to my home country, Uganda, than they are to America. So moving here was a big transition that I was never prepared for. Although I'm adopted and partly was raised by my American parents, I grew up in my own culture, and that looked very, very different. I felt very inadequately prepared when I moved to America. I struggled a lot. This was the first time I truly knew what depression, mental health felt like, because I fell into a deep depression. I was transitioning from Uganda, Africa, a place that I call home, pretty much all I have ever known, to a whole new continent, a whole new place I'm supposed to call home. Transitioning from my home country, where I am the dominant race, most of the people I see on the street look like me, they're black, moving to America, where I am now the minority race, adjusting to racism and understanding the verbal communications of racism, because racism to me is a language on its own. Like, you have to know the triggers and what people are saying. Like, sometimes I struggle to pick racism right off the bat, equated to, oh, that person is mean, that person does not like me, but it just doesn't immediately fall to, this person hates me because I am black. And once I left my pod, things like that, I opened my mind to think about things I'd never considered. I mentioned that this is the first time I truly knew what depression, mental health felt like. That's because my home country and America are completely different lifestyles and people groups, and it's just a completely different room. One thing that I found hard to adjust to was how individualistic America is, and Uganda is very much communal. People are outside, you know your neighbors, you're happy, friends are easy to make. You're always outside and with people. While in America, you're always indoors, and it's about you and your life, and making friends is extremely, extremely hard. It took me so long to adjust to this. The first year of college, my routine, I just came so happy and ready, and I'm gonna make so many friends, and we're gonna do this. We have the first week of college, orientation. You're meeting so many people in the same group as you. They're new to college, they want friends, they want, But then after a couple weeks, when everybody has settled into their classes, nobody's outside anymore. Everybody is in a hurry to do the next thing. This life I was not prepared for. Once all the glamour of America settles in, oh my gosh, I want that. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna buy this. This looks so cool. Once all settles in, the reality hits, and this reality I was not prepared for. Got to a point I was not friends with my roommates at first few weeks. We were chatting, but as time settled in, they were doing their schedules. I felt so alone. I would literally go to class, come back, watch Netflix in my bed, sleep in my bed. That was my routine. I would sometimes go out to get food, but sometimes I would just order my food and just stay in my dorm the entire school year. Academics is all I had. I had sisters at the same college, but they were also adjusting to their life, and they were also busy. So I just felt alone. Also, another thing that I think solidified my my phase of depression, the little relationship that I had, the little long distance relationship, the little man that I left back in Uganda that I loved way more than he loved me, because he was pretty much the only person that I wanted to talk to and keep up with. He kept me updated on what's going on. I didn't want to fall out of the trends of my home country, but also at the same time I wanted to adjust to this new country. Those are two different things that cannot go together. You can't be two places at the same time. So the time difference did not help anything, because when I was awake, he was sleeping. Uganda is 9 hours ahead of America, so they see the next day before we do. And he was just always busy and didn't want to talk to me anymore. And I tried too hard, and he wanted to go on for the next thing, and we weren't on the same page. So on top of all the things that I was struggling, that little relationship thing that I was trying to hold on for so long solidified the struggle for me. This time of life to transition from high school to college, Uganda to America, while it was going to be like a huge thing, it was also going to be my step to freedom, as we used to call it. But I just was not prepared. Now that I've lived here for 6 years, I have learned to adapt. I have learned to adjust to change. Change is not the best. Change is not my favorite thing. But this transition of living in two different worlds has helped me to develop and broaden my mindset and be open-minded, because I now, looking back to growing up in Uganda, I feel like I very much grew up in a bubble where everything is the same. Routines, days are pretty much the same thing. And now that I've moved to America, where it is way more diverse, way more developed, life moves at a very, very fast pace, I have learned to adjust to this kind of life. My next video is going to be about things that I love and appreciate about America versus my home country. So okay guys, this is where I'm going to pause. Subscribe, put on that bell so that the notification dings off when I upload the second video, so you do not miss anything. Okay guys, bye.